Hello and welcome to this week's weekly psychic forecast for week commencing the 20th of March 2023. So we are going to begin with an overview of the week. We're going to have a look at the week's energy as a whole, see what messages we have, see what the potential is for the week energetically speaking, and then we will go day by day, taking a look at each day individually, Monday to Sunday, finishing up with a spiritual guidance message at the end. Now, if you're not a member and you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, you will only be able to see the overview, which is the beginning of this reading. If you'd like to watch the rest, you can pop on over to Ko-fi. I'll put the link below, and you can actually watch the whole thing over there if you become a member. So let's dive on in and have a look at this week. So the overview of this week, we have these cards. We have number 4, Badger Spirit, be fearless and bold. We have 38, Lizard Spirit, dream the world into being. We have the Ace of Spring, it's time to take action, be fearless and happily pursue your most treasured dreams, amazing career opportunities. And our last card, we have Embrace the Dark, which is number 9. Wow, really loving this energy here. This is very exciting, I have to say. We've got this number 4 and then 38, 12. Is that, no, 11, 38, 9, 10, 11. Yes, I can count 11 too. Really loving this energy because, you know, we are about to move, the sun's about to move into Aries, and it's sort of like the proper beginning of the year. It is the astrological beginning of the year, which is when things do actually start to move. We're moving into spring. I started to see spring blossoms on the trees where I live, which is lovely. When I'm driving around, I saw it for like the first time only a couple of days ago. It's really beautiful. It's like the world is waking up, and this week we're really going to be feeling that energy of waking up, and there is this encouragement coming through. It's the moment to do the thing. If you've been putting it off, or if you started something and you kind of felt knocked back, the past few months have been a little bit tricky energetically. So you may have felt like you needed to hibernate, like you needed to really take some time out over this winter. It's been quite a challenging energy. It is the moment to get back on the horse this week. And it comes in with a very solid foundation on number 4, which is a very supportive number, but it does indicate that work is required. It's not necessarily going to come that easily. It does require effort. And with the Lizard Spirit, dream the world into being, to me this is talking as well about manifesting and our manifesting. What is it that you're trying to manifest at the moment? Because you can have it. You can start to realise. And isn't it funny, this leaf down here almost looks like an eyeball. I just noticed that. Different things jump out at you from different cards at different moments when you do this kind of work, if you didn't know. Looks like an eyeball. It feels very much like we're looking in a new direction. Actually being able to see the future that we want, visualising it, being able to see that it's finally possible, rather than it being a pie in the sky idea that we're just sort of dragging around with this, thinking, well, I'd really like this to happen, but you know, I don't know if it's going to. But now it feels like we'll really be able to start to see the evidence of the things that we want manifesting, as long as we are doing what we need to do to come into alignment with that energy. And if you want to know more about manifesting, you can check out my book, which I will link below, which is Dream Bigger, How the Law of Attraction Really Works. So but my best tip really is, if you want to manifest your desires, is to meditate. Okay, because meditation really helps you to get into the right energy for that. Anyway, it's a little shortcut, it's quite handy. So the Ace of Spring, wow, talk about gorgeous, happy, exciting new beginnings with this gorgeous kind of childlike energy here. I'm trying to pick this card up. There we go. This gorgeous magical energy, this little girl and her blossom tree. Isn't that beautiful? And she's got butterflies here with her, 6 butterflies. So the heart is making itself known here as well. Very interesting. So we've got 4 brown butterflies and 2 blue. I want to bring in number 4 again, which is that earthly number, which is very supportive. So it feels like our dreams are really, really being supported. Our new beginnings are really being supported this week. So we can feel safe to actually move forwards. We can feel safe to show our hand, I think, to the world. We don't have to keep our dreams secret anymore. We don't have to keep them under wraps. Because very often, you know, we'll have a new idea, we'll have a new plan, and you don't want to tell everyone when you have a new idea, because the more people you tell, the more people are going to pour cold water on it, tell you it's a bad idea, tell you shouldn't do it, you know, possibly with the best intentions they'll tell you these things because they think they're right, they think that's realistic. But as I discovered recently, realistic or realism is just a school of philosophy. I don't know how it became the mainstream in our society that we live in right now, but it seems to be the mainstream philosophy that we live by, but it's only just one philosophy. It's not the be-all and end-all. And embrace the dark. I love this coming in here, this hidden kind of very witchy energy coming through here with this beautiful full moon in the background, reminding us to embrace those magical, mystical aspects of self on number 9. So coming in with hermit energy there. So number 9 being the hermit card in the tarot. Very exciting energy, very mystical. I think it will be a good week for magical working, as you know, so that goes beautifully with manifesting, for making things happen, for creating the world that we want. I think that's going to be very, very powerful energy to do that, but also to learn about the occult, to learn about our history, particularly if you are from the British Isles. You know, we have a very rich history, most of which is hidden, sort of 99% hidden, but if you scratch the surface you can find it. You know, for example, there are many churches that were built on ley lines. have a look at that. That's very interesting. I'm drawn to speak about ley lines for this week as well. So have a look into the history of where you live, you know, of your ancestors. I have mentioned this before, but I'm very, very drawn to it. So, you know, if you have ancestors from the British Isles, you know, from England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, maybe delve a little bit into the history, into the pagan past, I want to say, because I think you may find some little gems of knowledge and wisdom that that could really help you. So let's have a look at our Spirit Message Oracle, see what else we have for this week, see what my guides want to bring to our attention. Okay, all right. So we have, there is no lack. Very important to remember when you're manifesting. There is no lack on 34/7. You'll notice I always reduce numbers to a single digit because I'm a numerologist, so I'm a bit of a number nerd when I can add them up correctly. We have to do maths. Oh no. There is no lack. Yeah, and I drew a little sack of money here with a pound sign on it because I'm English. There is no lack, and that's the thing. I mean, very often we can hold ourselves back from our dreams, from our desires, by thinking, well, I shouldn't have more than the next person. And my question is, why? Why shouldn't you? You're not taking anything from them by doing well for yourself. In fact, if you have more money, you have more money available to help people and lift them up, to donate to charities, to be a good person and actually make change in the world. So I want to remind everybody this week that you cannot make yourself sick enough to make someone else well. You cannot make yourself ill enough to heal somebody else. That is not how this works at all. Okay, and you cannot make yourself poor enough to make another poor person, you know, better off. All right, that's just a very, very unhelpful way of thinking that many of us kind of have instilled in us. And I don't know where it came from. I have often wondered about this. Where did this come from? This idea that we have to be lowly so that the person next to us can be okay, because there is no lack in the universe. We live in an infinite universe, and I think that's something that we should really be teaching in school, in my opinion. When I rule the world, kids will know this and they'll have great self-esteem as well. Anyway, so Feathers from Heaven on 4610. Oh, well, that's interesting because this is change. Oh, I love these number combinations. I'm just going to show you here. So we have 46, 4 and 6. So we've got 4 brown butterflies. So we've got number 4 coming in and 6 butterflies in total. So I knew I wanted to talk about 4 and 6 with these new beginnings. And the Feathers from Heaven energy coming in here. So it's coming in on 4 plus 6 is 10. So that's about changes and new beginnings. It's beginning of a new cycle. So I mean, we are literally entering a new cycle as Aries, and you know, the sun enters Aries. So it's literally a new astrological cycle there. But it's also a new cycle for us in our lives. We have an opportunity now, and it feels like quite a big one. I think we've been waiting a few years for this one. Things that have been put on hold for the past 3 years, I would say, can now start to move properly, can now start to begin properly in earnest. We can really start to see the shifts and the changes coming in with angelic help, with help from heaven. So it will feel as if things are lining up for us, like all our ducks can really start to get in a row this week. So that's a very, very nice, very hopeful energy. Lord and Lady Fire on 12. Now that's interesting. 12-3. Wow. This is very much, when I wrote this card, I intended it to be the coming together of the masculine and feminine, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. It's a very balanced energy, but when they come together, they are powerful. And this is what we forget. When we balance the masculine and feminine, we don't diminish either of them. They empower each other. And I do want to talk about the divine masculine because it is something that's coming more to the fore, more and more. And I have mentioned it in previous weekly forecasts because I remember it's come up before, but it seems to be a theme coming up very strongly. And I do I have already picked the cards for the rest of the week, and I have seen a couple of cards about that show up already, so I'm really quite excited to see where we're going this week. But it feels like the balancing of the masculine, divine masculine and feminine energies. And again, that comes in with our pagan roots, because, you know, you have the goddess and god in the pagan beliefs. You don't just have a god who's male, and everyone else that, you know, you might have a woman, but it's probably a woman of ill repute, or a virgin, because, you know, they're a bit useless. You can tell I don't like religion. I didn't get on with it. It's never been for me. But it's bringing back that balance to our spirituality, and I think we will start to see it, and I think that's interesting. And if you saw my video about God's gender neutral, about the Anglican Church talking about whether God is male or female, actually coming to the conclusion that God's gender neutral, well, I completely agree. God is neither male nor female, because God is both. God, goddess, whatever you want to call this divine force, this source perhaps that we all come from, to, you know, however you want to see it, whatever your beliefs are. But it is really noticeable to me that the masculine and feminine energies are trying very hard to come into balance at the moment. They're trying very hard. It's very much trial and error at the moment, so we are seeing some very strange things in our society at the moment too, which will sort of be evened out and straightened out and calmed down over the years, I think. I would even say over the next 12 years, I think we're going to see that sort of sort itself out. But it is a very hopeful sign, a very nice sign as well, very, very positive to see. So what else do we have? Love is all around you always. Oh, that's beautiful. So again, a little reminder here from heaven, a little reminder from source, from the universe, you know, from God, goddess, whatever you want to call it, that you are so loved and cared for. Beautiful. 54-9. So we've got another 9 coming in. So there's great wisdom about who we are and where we come from, I think, coming in this week. So that could be on a personal level, that you have a personal experience, a spiritual experience. It could be in your own spiritual practice that you have some sort of spiritual, I would say, experience. That's the only word I could think of. You know, there's a real energetic expansion going on this week, really starting to understand higher levels of our spirituality, of who we truly are. And I think it's really going to sort of ripple across the collective. We're really going to see proof of that moving forward. So that's really quite exciting. I'm actually going to go to the romance oracle next, see what we've got coming up in love this week. Love, romance, but also relationships, platonic relationships. It doesn't all have to be about romance. Okay. But it is about the divine masculine and feminine coming together, you know, regardless of gender. So, because we all carry both of those energies. And if we try to ignore one, we get very, very out of balance. And that's how you end up with a very, very sick society. So, ex-partner on 19. Take some time together. Love Addicts Anonymous. Oh, codependence, codependency. I knew that was going to come out. That's actually why I've got this love oracle here as well, because I had a feeling we were going to need it. It looks like it could be a little bit of a difficult week as far as romance is concerned. And again, it is that balancing of the masculine and feminine divine energies going on, and that can cause some problems in relationships, you know, regardless of gender, because as I say, all of us carry both energies. It's not about man being with a woman. It can be a man with a man, you know, woman with a woman, or whoever, whatever everyone identifies as, because, you know, that's just what we're doing at this point in time. But ex-partner, so there could be an ex actually showing up in your life. There could be somebody showing up. And I think it will be to kind of help you end a cycle, because I put this one on a number 19. These are all cards that I have written, these two ones here that I've channeled from my guide. So 19, 10, 1. So again, we've got another 10. So it is about new beginnings. So an ex-partner coming in, perhaps to show you how much you've grown. You know, if an ex-partner comes in and you're not interested and you're like, wow, what was I thinking? I've been there. And you see just how much you've grown, changed and evolved, or perhaps how much they haven't grown. That can be quite shocking when you encounter somebody from your past and they're exactly the same person and you are someone completely different. So that can be really nice just to see how much you've grown. And I would say if an ex is coming into your life at the moment, or attempting to get back into your life, or maybe if you're considering getting back together with someone or have recently got back together with somebody, I would say take it slow this week, because there's a lot to discover, because I think either you or them has changed a lot. Okay, so I feel like the energy matched isn't really there anymore, but you may need to take some time to work that out, because we have got this card about taking your time. So take some time together on 49, 13, 4. So it is about stable relationships, really building stability in your relationships, you know, platonic as well as romantic relationships this week. Take your time, don't hurry, don't rush, you know, there is no rush. And, you know, if you have any codependent tendencies, which a lot of people do, and they don't even know that they have them, and it's not their fault, you know, it usually comes from a difficult childhood or an abuse in their background. I would say be careful who you choose to spend time with, be careful, set boundaries, I want to say, with people when it comes to your time and your energies. Be very clear this week about setting boundaries. Okay, don't feel like you have to run round after everybody else just because that's what you've always done, just because it feels comfortable and normal for you to do that, and then you end up exhausted and resentful. Okay, that's not helpful. Also, Love Addicts Anonymous, yes, beware who's coming into your life this week. They may seem like God's gift to men or women, and they really, really may not be, because there is this energy of balancing the divine masculine and feminine, and it's still a little bit shaky for some people. So be cautious, I would say. Beware of people coming into your life who seem too good to be true, particularly if you have a spiritual connection with them. So you may feel quite a strong soul connection, but that doesn't mean that you have to be together. And I'm just going to repeat that. Just because you have a soul connection with someone and you feel that connection, that soulmate connection or twin flame connection, whatever you want to call it, does not mean that you're supposed to be together. Okay? If it's right, it's right. If it's not right, it's not right. At least not in this lifetime. So, oh, you want to come in too, do you? Okay, so we just got this last card. Nothing will keep you apart. Wow. Okay, that's a nice reminder, actually. So the right person, whether they're with you or whether they're out there, there is a reminder here that you will find the right person at some point. If you let them come in, you will find them. So there is nothing to worry about. There's some reassurance certainly coming in for relationships. That's a very, very reassuring message to come in. Very loving, very gentle, but equally for some people, if it refers to the ex-partner card down here, it could be almost like stalking. I want to say look out for it. Okay, if somebody is being a little bit too keen or showing up a little bit too much too frequently in your life, that may not be very helpful. So be very, very discerning. Okay, there's a very fine line between romantic and creepy. Okay, as we know. So let's have a look at money, finance, abundance. So abundance requires gratitude, question mark, on number 44.8. Does it? Do you have to be grateful to have lots of money? I see lots of rich people who don't look very grateful. So I really want to question you to question your beliefs about manifesting. And it may not be about money, it may be about something completely different, but question your beliefs when it comes to manifesting and when it comes to abundance this week, because great fortune is available. It's right there, sat on the bottom of the pack going, hello, Helen hasn't even picked me and I'm going to show myself on the video because I'm a big show-off card. But does abundance require gratitude? I really want you to question your beliefs when it comes to manifesting money, abundance this week, because some of them may be incorrect and you may be surprised, but happily surprised by what you find. So charity and altruism, that's very nice actually. So there's a little reminder here to help charitable causes, to help somebody in need, and there is no lack. So don't put yourself in financial difficulty to help somebody else, because that doesn't help anyone. That's a zero-sum game. Okay, help people in ways that don't cost you what you cannot afford. That's very, very important. So generosity of heart, mind and wallet. So it is all about giving this week. That's interesting. So if you can afford to help people, please do. But it's the heart, mind and the wallet. It doesn't always have to just be the wallet. Okay, you could spend an hour helping a charity. Okay, you could spend 20 minutes giving a little old lady a lift to the shops so she can do her shopping. You know, there are lots of things that you can do. And I want to say, remember that the universe is generous too, because there is no lack. Remember, the universe is generous too. And this week it feels like there is a lot of potential financially. So we're told not to be too miserly with what we do have, but equally not to go too far the other way and give what we can't afford. Okay, find that balance. You know, you might practice tithing, which is where you give a little bit of money to a good cause or charity every month. That can be a nice thing to do, but if you can't afford to do it, then it's not right. Goldstone crystal. Oh, lovely. I'm just going to bring some in here. This is goldstone. Okay, very, very lovely. It's actually a man-made crystal and it sparkles, so I quite like it. You've probably seen my goldstone turtle show up in various... Oh, video, where is he? There he is. My goldstone turtle he wants to come into. Goldstone crystal, I'm going to say, is a good crystal to work with this week, to meditate with, to hold, to carry a little piece around. It's a wonderful stone for manifesting money and abundance and gold, obviously, because it is this gorgeous, sparkly golden colour. And it's very earthy as well with the brown as well. So it's quite grounded. So it's like literally bringing money into the here and now, into reality. So it's literally manifesting money. Let's see what else we have. Double-edged sword. Okay. Okay. So again, there is a question here that's being asked. We're being asked to think carefully about things. What is it that you want and why, I would say. What is it that you want and why? And are you setting yourself up for difficulty? Okay. I'll explain what I mean. I want to go back to the first card, abundance requires gratitude, question mark. So do you think that you have to do a certain thing in order to achieve a certain outcome? Because that may not be the case at all. Do you think that you have to struggle in order to get a living wage? Because I can tell you now, that's not the case. There are millions of people in the world who are proof that that is just not true. Some of the richest people do the least, as we know. Okay, it's just a case of learning how to align our energy with abundance so that we don't have to struggle, letting go of that resistance that comes through, those beliefs that come through regarding abundance and struggle. So, and remember, all of these cards could have an individual meaning for you as well if you're watching, because this is a group reading. So I'm just going to bring in one of these. Here we go. Oh, we've got two. I've got two that want to come out here. So regarding relationships this week, we have deep in your heart. You already know the answer. Do what feels right. So really tap into your feelings this week. Okay. Even if we feel like we want to be with someone, very often on a deep level, our heart knows it's not quite right. Okay. So really, really feel into your feelings this week. And not just in relationships either. I think our emotions, our heart is really going to steer us in the right direction. You will know what's right because it will feel right. If it feels icky or if it feels stressful, then there may be something to look at. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the wrong thing to do, but there may be something to look at. Are you trying to force yourself to do something you really don't want to do, but your mind has decided you should want to do it because of who you're trying to be? Okay. And then we have wait. This is what I was saying. I do want to talk about romance with this card. Don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. So no rushing ahead with relationships. I want to say, or investments this week. Okay, any kind of new partnership, and that could be with an investing bank or, so your portfolio. Don't rush in. You will definitely want to, because of this kind of rush of like Aries energy that's coming in, very, very soon. And God knows Aries loves to rush forwards. But it's not quite the moment to do that just yet. Okay, yes, spring is in the air, but it doesn't mean that we have to throw all our eggs into one basket and, because we may just end up falling over and smashing them all in the street. And that would be a terrible shame. So that is my overview for this week. We are going to move on to Monday now for members only over on Ko-fi. I will see you over there, or if you're already watching there, let's continue.